In fact, the external world around you, is showing you the self-esteem that you set for yourself. It's showing you the worth that you set for yourself. If you don't care about your health, your skin, your goals, your works, or whatever, how are you gonna expect somebody to enter your life who would do that? But if you have a low self-esteem, you would be like, well, maybe I deserve such a life. Not everybody can reach their goals anyway. But the high self-esteem would say, I see myself deserving of it, and now I am ready to do whatever it takes. Hello everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you guys are having a wonderful time, feeling awesome. In today's video, we'll be discussing self-esteem and things that actually are really important in terms of it. Now, to put it in a really short way and short form, I would say that self-esteem is what determines, in fact, the determinator was you, but your self-esteem determines whether are you an iron, a gold, or a diamond. Now let's get that. Now let's dig deeper into it. Okay. First, one of the biggest questions that I had in life was that what's the difference between confidence and self-esteem? Like if there are two different things, then what's going to be the difference? And I understood that somebody with a high self-esteem can be confident, but somebody with a high amount of confidence can also have a low amount of self-esteem. Now you might wonder why. Your self-esteem determines for you and makes you decide the best way to whether accept a situation, change it, or leave. Your self-esteem decides which one is best to do. Now, for example, in terms of friendships, if you're surrounded with people who do not respect you and love you for who you are, and when you choose yourself, they get sad about it, your self-esteem determines whether you should accept this fact, change it, or literally leave the situation. Now, low self-esteem would be like, well, if I don't be friends with them, then I won't have any more friends. So I don't want to be lonely. I will choose to be with them despite how much they bother me. So, to have a high self esteem, you first accept something, whatever it is, and then through this place of excitement, through this place of acceptance, you decide whether to change the situation or leave it. That's why, if you, for example, be convinced with the toxic friends that you're surrounded with, you're not even accepting this. You're just resisting the fact that, yeah, they're like this, and you have a different idea about them in your head, and you just survive the day with them. That's why you wouldn't even make any change or even leaving them, because, first place, you haven't accepted it. So remember, always accept the situation as it is and then decide whether you should leave it or change it. And it should always be coming from a place of acceptance. If it's coming from the place of fear, hatred, or anything that's on a low vibration, well, you're gonna be getting no result and no change would happen. And even if you leave the situation and want to enter a different situation, the new situation coming to your life will also be a repetitive pattern of the old one. So, yeah, always accept, always be grateful, and from that place, make the change you desire. Because somebody who has a high self esteem knows that the world is abundant. Once you let go of things and people that do not serve you and are not good for your highest good, you create space for people who are aligned with your goals to come to your life. In fact, I put it in such a sentence: better let those that don't love you for who you are go away so that there's going to be space for people that love you for who you are to come. So never, ever, ever be convinced when a situation is not a certain way that you might think that you deserve it. Always be grateful, but never, ever, ever convinced. Remember, if these friends of yours are not going to be aligned with your goals, let them go, and that way you create space for those who let you be yourself to come. And if I want to make an example for you of how you're holding on to toxic friends and then expecting good friends to come into your life and wonder why good friends are never coming to your life, is like having a room and filling it with cats. Meanwhile, you want dogs. Like the room is filled, there is no space left for dogs to come. They're waiting for you to open up some space for them. So when you let go of the cats and let them go, therefore, you create space for the dogs to enter the room. It's as simple as that. In fact, if you impress others by who you are not, you will lose them by who you are. So, in first place, always be yourself and let those that respect you and love you for who you are come to your life. It's as simple as that. And trust me, when you choose to be alone, then surrounded by those who would not love you and respect you for who you are, you set a high self esteem for yourself. And therefore, you will be surrounded by those who love you for who you are. Because there is a big difference between being lonely and alone. Somebody who is lonely can feel lonely even being surrounded with 1,000 people, doesn't enjoy their own presence. But when you enjoy your own presence, being alone, that's also when others will enjoy your presence as well. So always be yourself and know that at the best time and the best place with the best people you will be surrounded with. And you don't need to hold on to those who don't love you for who you are and who just bring down your worth. Now, I told you that somebody who's confident can have a low self esteem. Here's an example I can make for you. There are so many women who are absolutely gorgeous, amazing, literally queens, and then you will look at their boyfriend and exes and you will see that they broke their heart. Now, it's not the guy's fault, it's the queen's fault. You know why? Because the queen was confident, was amazing, but their self esteem was too low that they were convinced just being with a guy who doesn't even respect her values. And it is just like that. For example, of course, anybody would want to have, for example, a boyfriend, a girlfriend, or whatever, but it should be aligned with your values. For example, if you want to become successful, you obviously wouldn't just date anybody who is sweet for you, who is sweet with you and nice. You will see them showing it with their action. You will say, I know my worth, and I will see whether you're worthy of my time and energy. Now, be careful. I'm not saying this in a way to be a narcissist. You can be selfish. Of course, you can be selfish. Be selfish as long as it's gonna bring you peace. But narcissism, well, it's coming from a low self esteem and just having a mask on having a high self esteem because you're not grateful for anything that is in your life. That is why self esteem is something that you need to fully understand. And like, even thousands of examples might not be enough. But hear me out. When you have a high self esteem, you wouldn't, for example, if you're a girl, date anyone. You wouldn't just, if somebody comes to you and says, I love you, you're the queen that I was always looking for, you wouldn't just fall in love by hearing that. You would be like, uh huh, you love me? Am I the queen you were looking for? Show me. Just like that. You wouldn't just get convinced by the bare minimum. And so, if you want the guy, for example, that comes to your life, the girl that comes to your life to respect your values, to actually help you work towards them, you gotta yourself also be working towards them. You can't be just sitting around like a princess being like, I deserve princess treatment. I deserve the world. I deserve a man who loves me for who I am and respects me and is gentle with me. Well, yes, we all do deserve that, of course, but do we show it to yourself that we deserve it? Do we set this fact that we deserve it? If you, for example, don't love yourself that much, if you don't show up for yourself, if you don't give yourself the princess treatment that you deserve, if you don't care about your health, your skin, your goals, your works, or whatever, how are you going to expect somebody to enter your life who would do that? So that's why self esteem is important here and determines the difference between a narcissist and a high self esteem, or call it even selfish. A narcissist would just sit around and be like, come on, I deserve the world. Now give it to me. And doing nothing about it. Not taking care of themselves, not doing anything, and just expecting the whole world to come for them. But somebody who has a high self esteem is not like that. They know what they deserve, and they wouldn't wait for the external world to show it to them. They will create it for themselves. They will show up for themselves every day. They would, if they want, for example, a certain thing, they will make sure to reach it. If they want a financial goal, if they have it, they will work hard towards it. They wouldn't just sit around, wait for something to happen so that it happens. They make it happen. And that's why when you have a high self esteem, you work towards the thing you want. In fact, you shouldn't wait around for your self esteem to go high so that you work for the thing you want. First, you work for the thing that you want, you decide that you want to make a change, and boom, eventually your self esteem goes high. This was about relationships, friendships. Now, you, for example, say that your worth in terms of financials is really high. You deserve the whole world. You deserve luxury. You deserve sports cars. I don't know, millions of dollars in your bank account. Well, are you living like it? No, I don't mean for you to be always expecting a steak on your table. I'm saying, are you working towards it? Or are you just sitting down saying, yeah, my worth is to have billions of dollars in my bank account. And well, eventually it will come. No, it won't come if you just be doing the regular stuff that you do every day. If you want to, for example, be a billionaire or whatever, live like it. If you want to be somebody who is respectful, be like it. Do not hang around with people who disrespect you. Show them what happens if they disrespect you. They will lose your beautiful blessing, which is your presence. Remember that when you choose to prioritize yourself, when you choose to prioritize your values, things you want to have in life, and when you would rather lose things that are not aligned with them, therefore, you create space for things, people, and situations and opportunities that are aligned with them. And I told you, never ever be convinced, but always be grateful. If, for example, you see yourself deserving of a penthouse, if your house right now is not a penthouse, I'm not telling you to be like, huh, this is not what I deserve. I deserve a penthouse. Oh my god, what is this house? No. Leave every single ounce of it to the fullest. Love it the way it is. Show love towards it and enjoy it. Because if you cannot enjoy what you have right now, how are you going to enjoy what you want in the future? You show how worthy you are for the thing that you want by being grateful, showing gratitude towards what you have right now. So that's why self esteem is something that really needs to be explored and understood and practiced a lot because we unconsciously set a really low self esteem for ourselves by the decisions we make, by this accepting and changing and living, deciding between these three literally sets your self esteem. And high self esteem understands whether something should be accepted, whether something should be changed, or literally leave the situation. For example, in terms of financial status, let's say your financial status is not what you want to have in the future, is, for example, so much lower than that. Well, first you accept this thing, and now that you've accepted it, you see that you can make a change in it, right? You can work harder, you can find new ideas, you can run a business, you can do this, that, and that's the way. But if you have a low self esteem, you would be like, well, maybe I deserve such a life. Not everybody can reach their goals anyway. But the high self esteem would say, I see myself deserving of it, and now I am ready to do whatever it takes. I hope that I could help you understand it better. And also remember, always, always remember, you are deserving of everything you want. If something looks possible in your imagination, 101% I can guarantee you that it's even more possible and easier in reality. So never, ever, ever get convinced, feel convinced with what you have, but always be grateful and know that you can have more. But do not be greedy about it. This is the balance that you gotta find for yourself. And it needs practice. I know, right? At first, you might feel so selfish about yourself. You might feel like, oh no, what's this trait that I'm having? But eventually, you will learn to enjoy every single thing in your life, be grateful about it, and then create change in it. But first, the gratitude would come from acceptance within. And eventually, you will no longer see yourself in situations that bring down your low, that bring down your worth. And eventually, you'll see that, whoa, the world is being a mirror to your self esteem that you determine for yourself. And you see that, whoa, now you're a diamond and now you're living like one. So be careful. The decisions you make between the three, accepting, changing, and living, literally affect your whole life. In fact, the world, the external world around you, is showing you the self esteem that you set for yourself. It's showing you the worth that you set for yourself. So it's never late. You got this. I believe in you. Thank you all so, so much for all your love and support. I love you guys so much, and I will see you next time. Mwah!